we want to talk about that paints business launch, right? The Birla Group. Grasim is getting into paints, and the brand is called Opus. By the way, we will have the Birla Group chairman, Kumar Mangalam Birla, launching the paint business later in the afternoon. Mangalam, of course, is there. It's happening out of Panipat, and we'll have more from there when that happens. But Amnish Agarwal is head of research at Prabhudas Leader. He's joining us right now. Amnish, good to have you with us here. It's a topic which has come up over the last year and a half with the entry of many large groups. But this one is pretty large. Just the size and scale of the investment being put in, the capacity that they want to build out. What's your sense? Will we see pressure on multiples, or eventually it'll be a slow process? And who gets affected the most, in your opinion?
Thanks, Prashant, for having me. Paints as a sector has seen multiple players enter, including MNCs, over a period of time. But the current incumbents, mainly Asian, Berger sector, they have done well. However, the kind of investment which Grasim has allocated, for example, by the end of December quarter, they have already done a capex of 6,000 crores. So it's a very big bang entry with a lot of capex, with the potential to exploit the distribution of, say, Birla White, because the putty is already selling, and Ultratech. So this time, I think it is going to be different. Now, given that nearly 25 to 30% of the market is still unorganized, so that is a very, you can say, first of all, an easy prey for Grasim to hunt on and get some market share. But having said that, I believe that there will be not only pressure on the unorganized players, but the large players can also come under some sort of a pressure. And it can have two impacts, either in terms of, say, volume growth, or second in terms of margins, because the current margins of the paint industry, particularly the market leader, they are trending at the upper end of their long-term, you can say, guidance or whatever they have been achieving in the past. Now, will it result into some of these companies going out of the business? For example, Asian Paints, will it be able to upstage the leadership? The answer is no. But having said that, there could be some pressure on the profitability, particularly if the companies try to spend more on distribution, advertising, some trade incentives and all that. Those kinds of things can be ruled out. So I think it is going to be quite an interesting time for I would say, the paint industry for the next 12 to 15 months. Because I think it is like, you can say, the event which has not happened like this in the past 30, 40 years in the industry.
Absolutely. But Amnish, what do you do with a stock like Asian Paints now? I know it may be too soon to tell how the industry could get disrupted because the launch is just about happening. But if you map the Asian Paints chart, in the last 1 year, it's done nothing. I mean, it's, I think, given you 5% returns if you look at it in the last 12 months. Do you think that this kind of underperformance is something that could continue?
I think so, because if we look at, say, Asian Paints now, and as I said earlier, that the company is currently trending at the upper end of the margins. So there is very little scope to increase margins. Given the increase in the competition, there is very limited scope to increase the pricing also. And even if, say, the industry or the Asian Paints grows volumes by, say, 9 to 10%, so it means next year your top line is likely to be in mid-single digit. With no margin expansion happening, plus a lot of money being spent on the capex by Asian Paints itself across new emerging verticals, whether it is titanium dioxide, white cement and all that, even VAM. So I think Asian Paints profit growth in the next couple of years can remain stunted to some extent. Now, given the kind of valuation of 52 times on our estimates on FY26, I think there is very little room in this stock. I think I won't be wrong if I'm saying that the Asian Paint remains the most expensive paint stock globally. So the re-rating is unlikely, and given the kind of phase the paint industry is entering into, I think this kind of an underperformance and sideways to weak movement can continue for some time, and a lot depends on what is the response of consumers to Grasim and which all segments they enter first. And if there is any pressure on any of the listed players, then the correction in the stock price can actually materialize.
Okay, all right. So we have spoken about, in this case, Goliath. What about David, which is Grasim? Grasim's entering into this space. As of now, it doesn't appear the street is allocating too much to the paints business, Amnish. What is your view? As of now, what kind of an allocation have you all given to the paints business on the SOT basis?
See, we are not covering Grasim, but having said that, if you look, say, for example, a company like Asian Paints, which has a, you can say, a market cap exceeding close to say 3 lakh crores, and it trades at a price to book which is say 12 times, 13 times. So as of now, yes, the market might not be allocating much, but I think over a period of time, the market will start assigning fair bit of value. But having said that, Asian Paints today is having more than 50% market share. So for any meaningful market cap to start accruing to Grasim, for example, the Kansai is I think around 22,000 crore kind of market cap. Berger maybe I would say more in between the two. So I think for the market to assign, you can say significant market cap, it is not only the capex which has been done, but definitely there has to be some movement on the ground in terms of market share, product acceptability, and all that.
Okay, all right, Amnish, thanks a lot for joining in and explaining that to us. So that's the big opening today, Grasim getting into the paints business, and of course we'll watch out for how the other paint players fare. There could be some sentiment impact, but let's move on.